For almost as long as games have existed, developers have tried to take players to a place where only the fittest, strongest, and bravest of us get to go. Today, we're checking out a game that is so realistic, it might just be the next step in virtual space travel. It's one small step for Rad, one giant leap for Spawnling Kai. Today, I'm lifting off to Opaque Space, developers of the super realistic VR experience that's taking people to the International Space Station and beyond. Earthlight VR. So where did you get the idea for Earthlight?
It was 30 meters up the road from here when we were having lunch, and my colleague at the time was eating dumplings, and he kind of went, should we build a space station in VR? And now we're here.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah, we thought, what could you use virtual reality for? What is the one thing that we've all wanted to do? And like 536 people have been to space so far, right? So we thought, imagine if everybody could go, put on a headset, do kind of a spacewalk in low Earth orbit, and our first tech demo was that.
What drew you to the Earthlight project?
Earthlight, in and of itself, has been such an interesting franchise. It's a game that is non-violent, and it's about the dream, it's about things that no one of us has probably never will have the chance to experience.
Early on in the project, you guys put some things online for some feedback. What kind of things did people say?
One night, I put the screenshots online, and I put them onto a forum where everyone posts space pictures, stars or space shuttles and things like that. And I woke up with a whole bunch of messages from personnel at NASA who had kind of gotten in touch and said, hey, we should talk.
So what was NASA's interest in the project?
Well, NASA's interest in Earthlight was looking at how virtual reality and mixed reality systems can be used to enhance, develop, or research new methods of training astronauts in digital environments.
It's not every day that a game developer gets a call from NASA, but getting Earthlight VR up to a level that it could be used to train real astronauts wasn't going to be easy. For that, the Opaque Space team had to travel all the way over to NASA in the US to see the real deal. What's it been like trying to make a game with such a high level of realism?
The majority of my work at the beginning of those projects is usually research, because in our collaboration with NASA, it means that we want to make sure we honor their work and we honor everything that has to do with human spaceflight, because people work really hard and people make sacrifices for it. And it's been great to work with people who have this all of humanity vision. This vision of our work goes beyond our lifetimes.
Well, if it's good enough for real-life astronauts, then I'd better check it out. I'm about to boldly go where no rad has gone before.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mission Control Tom Hine here, and I'll be overseeing our 76th spacewalk. How are we doing today, Anna?
I'm ready in the Quest airlock, waiting for instructions.
All the positive feedback was just people being awestruck by something called the overview effect, which is when, for the first time, when you exit the airlock and you look on the Earth, there is a phenomenon that happens to many astronauts that have done this specific spacewalk, in that they are completely, I guess, in awe of seeing the Earth for the first time.
Oh! And I'm outside, I'm in space.
We had one person who started crying, for example. There was people who wanted to take a copy and just sit at home and just watch the Earth for hours on end.
Moving towards the work site. It's a bit scary, actually. Oh no, I didn't catch the thing!
Space is terrifying, right? So we don't want to shoot people off into space. We want them to experience it from the comfort of their living room. More importantly, it would be great if kids, especially out of all ages, could just jump into virtual reality and go through the exercises or the environment of being an astronaut first, and that may put them onto the path of wanting to go to space.
It's really amazing how immersive the game is and how it gives you that feeling of real danger, because one small mistake, like not holding onto a handle, and you're just floating off into nothingness forever. But one thing I've always wanted to try out in space is walking on the moon.
Basically, we're gonna go into the lunar lander, and then we're gonna descend onto the lunar surface to the Apollo 17 landing site. Let's go.
This is weird. Abort. These ones?
Yes, I did. As exciting as human spaceflight is, Earth is our home, and Earth is our only home. You know, we will eventually go to Mars, and we will go to other planets, but nothing is like the planet that we live on. And I would love to bring that feeling to people.
You know, I really love when games aren't just used for entertainment and fun, which is great, but it's even better when they're used for practical things like training or giving humans experiences that they otherwise wouldn't get to have. And I think Earthlight nails that. You know, really, Astra taught me something today. Now, isn't there supposed to be cheese around here? This is the moon, right? It's made of cheese.